does that word really mean? Well, years ago, I did this thing that identified the pivotal moments in my life. Overall, it calculated just how many days I had been on earth. Allow me to share some of my unintentional days with you. Day 5,852. After starting my search for love and coming up short over and over and over again, I came up with the master plan. I would just create my list of everything that I wanted in a partner. He had to be funny. He had to be driven. He had to be dedicated to me. He had to love his mother. He even had to have some of those superficial qualities like being over 6'3", with a certain body type and build. Day 6,974. I tried marriage, and that particular one didn't work. But, as many of us do, I stuck in there, even when it drained the life out of me. Day 8,159. I found myself in one of those relationships where he didn't quite see my value. And eventually, that relationship became one of those after-hours relationships, you know, the kind that you only come together in the middle of the night. The kind where there's absolutely no way to prove to the world that you're actually together. Then, after all of that, day 11,361, I woke up blind in one eye. Followed by day 11,477, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. After all of these unintentional days, day 13,220, I made the decision to live intentionally. So what is intentional living? Here are a few words that may help clarify. Deliberate, intended, purposeful. So ladies, how do we live intentionally? Well, although this is the condensed version, I like to share 7 steps from my 8-step plan to living an intentional life. Step 1, finding and defining your purpose. In finding your purpose, it means that you have to set higher standards. You have to live boldly. Destroy your limitations. Ladies, praise, honor, and accept your flaws. And finally, live fearlessly. Setting higher standards means that we have to stop settling for what people are willing to give us based on what they feel our worth is. Next, we have to live boldly, which means we have to be willing to take risks, even when the outcome looks bleak. Next, we have to destroy our limitations. One of the things is society likes to construct this box for all of us. It says, you're either type A or you're type B. You're an extrovert or you're an introvert. You're a leader or a follower. I have this quotation that says, when you focus on your weaknesses, they become your story. So live your strengths. Ladies, this is how you defy your limitations. Next, you have to praise, honor, and accept your flaws. Honor the things that you cannot change and change the things that you can. And finally, live fearlessly. When we are born, we are all born with only 2 fears. One is the fear of falling. The other is the fear of loud noises. All other fears are developed along the way based on our experiences. So what is the true nature of fear? Fears are our responses to ideas that we've constructed in our own minds from things that we thought were true, but they actually were not. Step 2, change. Change is difficult because change says that you're ready to shift your paradigm and your thought process. Change says that you are willing to do something different than you've always done. Ladies, remember that every single thing that you are, you can change it. It doesn't have to be a part of who you are. One of my favorite quotations from Jimmy Dean is this: I cannot change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. Step 3, mindset. Everything starts and ends with the mind. You know, we get to a certain place in our lives where we feel like mindset is more linear and there's no change that can take place in our mindset. But with mindset, there are always positives as well as negatives. Let's take a look at some of the positives. A winning perspective is a positive mindset. Learning is a positive mindset. Success and positive self-esteem. Same mind, but conversely, let's take a look at some of the negatives. Stress is a negative mindset. Poverty is a negative mindset. Low self-esteem is a negative mindset because it says we haven't yet learned our value. And, ladies and gentlemen, seeking the approval of others is also a negative mindset. Step 4, self-power. No more sitting on the sidelines waiting to get in the game, ladies. Everything that you are and everything that you're supposed to be, you were born with it. And I'm not talking about skill. I'm talking about your innate abilities, who you are to your core. You were born with it. Self-power is about owning everything in your life. It's about owning your circumstances, owning your frustrations, owning your passion, owning your peace, owning your love, owning your growth and your mindset, owning your purpose, and ladies, owning your life. Step 5, confidence. When we're born, we feel like we can achieve anything. There is absolutely nothing off the table. We speak it and we believe it. But then somewhere along the way, other people's ideas, fears, doubts, and opinions get in the way. And then someone introduces their tea to your can. They marry and become can't. Self-power and confidence is about going back to your roots, who you are, and believing in your own abilities confidently. Step 6, growth. Growth is going beneath the surface and extracting those deep-seated behaviors and those character traits. The ones that tell us, well, these are just the cards that I was dealt. Or, this is just who I am. Or one of my personal favorites, it is what it is. No. Growth is the art of no longer just living while waiting on someone else to validate you. It's about learning from your past mistakes and not holding on to them. Step 7, reflection. Reflection is one of my favorite things because reflection is one of those things where it allows you to pinpoint those red flags in your life, those areas where we're stagnant, we're unproductive. But also, reflection creates a platform for you to be able to identify those principles that you're living by. But it also gives you the opportunity to develop new principles. Ladies, these 7 steps will change your perspective on life. They changed my perspective, and they allowed me to become unstuck in my life. But they left me with one thing left to do. My eulogy. My eulogy to my past. May I share it with you? As I think back, my experiences with you were exactly what I needed at the time. After all, they were all that my mind could fathom. The only problem is, I didn't know that you were toxic at the time. You offered small rewards and small victories, but you never made me feel like I was enough. You stripped me of my confidence so that I depended on what other people thought of me to define who I was. You were bold, and you never made excuses for the chaos that you caused. You didn't see my future to recognize that I was supposed to impact the entire world. Remember that time when I was 16 years old and you told me that the world would be better off if I were not here? And you tried to get me to take my own life. I now know what you were trying to do. You were trying to steal my purpose. But not only were you trying to steal my purpose, but you were trying to steal the purpose of my son Dante, my daughter Jacqueline, and my son Micaiah. I guess your thinking was, if you take me out, you hit the jackpot because you steal their purpose too. It was a clever plan, but it didn't work. So now, as I say goodbye to you, my past, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for what you did do. You taught me that I had value. You taught me to be persistent, determined. You taught me perseverance. And you helped me to write my first book about you. Then you taught me to overcome. You taught me that I have purpose, and you taught me to pursue my purpose every single day like it's my last. Your lessons were truly invaluable. But now, as I leave you behind and I step into my future, just know, we could have been great back then. I won't miss you, but I will often think of you as a reminder that chaos breeds when you are not intentional about your goals. I forgive you. You didn't know any better. But guess what? I got my goals on lock now. And the question is not who's going to let me, it's who's going to stop me. Thank you.